everybody, this is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops!
Sup? I don't like hand loops, but I do like Fruit Loops. Sup, friends?
Easy bottoms!
Sup? Sup, friends?
And it is Dribbles! I'm Kettles! Banned! We're all banned! It's fine. I don't want to be here anyway. And we're Crush Cards! Hi, team. Happy Wednesday, my beautiful bonbons. It's Banlist season, which means free content and opinions that everyone's going to be upset about. Let's do it.
So for any of y'all who may be new to the channel or are just not new to the series, this is our series which we like to call Breakfast in Banlist. It's our Banlist prediction, discussion, whatever. We just want it to be a little bit more interactive with everyone. So instead of telling you what we think and why we think, we want it to be more like an open discussion, which is what the comment section is down there for. So we read every single one of your guys' comments.
Even
and try
when
to
you
respond.
roast us
Yeah,
and tell us we're wrong and tell us that we're basically Konami and that we're the ones who made the ban list. We're not. So just remember that when you're commenting telling us that we're wrong.
This is more of like an open conversation. We like to do it over food, which is why we call it Breakfast and Banlist. So we've got our breakfast. We encourage you guys, go grab a snack, go grab a cup of coffee, and let's have a conversation about what we think could fix the format.
We're having fruit because we're trying to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's winter. It's tough.
Mmm.
Yum. So in this video, we're going to realistically talk about what we think will actually happen on the ban list, and then what we think could happen in like a perfect world, but isn't necessarily going to be what Konami does. So this is kind of a prediction and like almost a wish list that we kind of talked about with y'all on stream yesterday, and that we will be continuing to talk about on stream with you this week. So if you don't catch any of our live streams, be sure to come hang out because we go way more in depth on the ban list and have more wonderfully, totally not hostile discussions. But in order for you to catch any of those live streams or just be a part of this wonderful channel in general, you've got to be subscribed. Yay!
Hey.
So go subscribe to the channel, like the video, please.
And throw in the comment section down below what you guys actually think is going to happen. As we said, this is more of a conversation, so feel free to start that conversation down in the comments.
We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYG. We're on there all the time, posting posts, answering messages, and posting stories. Come say hi. It's great, and we always do giveaways, so make sure you're in the Instagram. We also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. It's basically Disney World. That's our running joke right now. So we gained like 30 new people yesterday in the Discord. It's really fun. Nights we stream are an absolute blast. So go hang out in the Discord if you want a great community.
Heck yeah.
And then last but not least, we have a Patreon. If you want to further support the channel, it's a new month, so you've got time. Bloopers go up, and if you're a member, you can see the bloopers, which is great. Every month we upload us screwing up for like at least 10 minutes, which is absolutely hysterical.
They went up today, so feel free to go check it out.
And we have merch, and we have some amazing benefits like remote dueling. So if you want to remote duel with us, you can have your own individual session, which is really rad. So check out the Patreon if you'd like, but if not, totally get it. That's fine. I'm just happy you're here. And for everyone who's new to the channel and is probably wondering why we are surrounded by literally like 20 alpacas, it started out with this little guy about a year ago. That's Tops. Tops is our wonderful sweet boy.
OG dirty son now.
And then it kind of just spread, and all of you guys have been sending us alpacas over the years. So a lot of these were actually sent by y'all in the sub squad to our P.O. box, which is in the description box down below if you want to send us more. But yeah, we don't know if we're going to be able to keep them all on the couch forever because we know that we have gotten more sent to us to the P.O. box, and they're slowly taking over. We're getting a little scared. But they also just don't fit anymore. So we don't know how this is going to work in the future, but these are the alpacas. They're just a part of this now. This is the family. It's just, I don't know what to say other than there's a ton of them.
Alright, so starting off with our banned section, I think the first card on everybody's list is Smoke Grenade of the Thief. This card is just absolutely so abusable right now. A lot of decks can play it. Like, obviously Infinite Noble Knight is the deck that abuses it the most. It's not a hard once per turn. It's basically searchable with the Zold and then like adding it back. Or the end phase just Charles Roland little shenanigans thing. But like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very, very interactive game. And obviously a lot of the decks that are out there right now don't really promote that. But like, this is one of those cards in card designs. Once again, not being a hard once per turn, ripping cards out of your opponent's hand. And if you've got a Herald up, it banishes the monster, so you can't even like get it back. Being able to loot 3, 4, 5 cards out of your opponent's hand, it doesn't even promote a game. So it's just like, this card's gotta go.
And we know that Konami just doesn't like cards that like rip cards out of your opponent's hand or hands in general. It doesn't create a balanced game, and like it's not fair and yada yada. So that's what, it's just a classic card that Konami would not like if it was being used in such a way that it is. So that it's just, the card's gonna go. I would be astounded if they do not hit the card, but it's gonna go, especially since it's an older card. It's not like it's a new card. They're like, oh no, we need to market it. And they just reprinted in OTS 14,
Yep,
so like it got its reprint.
That's the
thing. It got its couple months of use. It's done. It's over.
It got the cursed Konami reprint treatment.
The pin in the grenade has been pulled, so it's a beautiful metaphor, but thanks, Konami.
Next up, this is more like a hit to Dragon Link and just combo decks in general, but our little friend, the Buster Destruction Whelp little sword little guy that locks you out of your extra deck. It's just like unfair to sit down and not be able to use like a third of your actual like collection, whether it's your main deck, side deck, and or extra deck. To have like the main component of Yu-Gi-Oh right now, which is the extra deck, just shut off, it's just not fair. And then like obviously there's Omni Negates set up as well, which we will address, but not being able to use your extra deck is just, it's not fun and interactive at all.
It's all these cards that can be equipped that seem to be the problem this format. Yeah. Like the Buster Lock is just so free, especially now with the Union Carrier like combo. You can just Union Carrier equip, blah blah blah. And a lot of people have been saying to ban Union Carrier. I think that's wildly incorrect, and I don't think that's gonna happen. First of all, again, we're going back to the whole Union Carrier was just printed thing. Like they haven't reprinted it yet. They're gonna want to reprint it. They're gonna want to make it more accessible because not everyone could get their hands on Dual Overload. It's just not gonna happen. Like they are not going to ban Union Carrier. Would that be a more like detrimental thing? Probably. Yeah. But like it's a matter of hitting the generic card that can be equipped. Yeah. Buster, like it literally, there's no stipulation. It just says lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Yep. That's it. It's super generic. It can be equipped from any deck. The Union Carrier is not the problem. It's the problem that the Buster Lock is just like it just says no. Like,
yeah, so for everyone saying that Union Carrier needs to be banned, what is Union Carrier doing? Banning Union Carrier literally doesn't do anything. It hurts ABCs, it hurts rogue decks, and it hurts that ability to equip other things that like you could actually extend with. Whereas like the Buster Lock, if you just get rid of it, you can use your extra deck and break whatever board they set up with it. And we are trying to be relatively fair on this list for what it's worth. We don't want to completely like decimate every single or any deck on the ban list. We just want to make things a little bit more fair. So when it comes to like Dragon Link, I think that this is realistically the only hit that needs to be addressed because they end on what, 2, maybe 3 interruptions. We have so many cards that break that. Like we have Imperm, Droplets, Talents can steal the card, Dark Ruler no more. Like if you can shut off the board, you can break it with no problem.
Mystic Mind.
Yeah, but like if you can't use your extra deck, it's so hard to not be, it's so hard to just break that.
And that's what's so problematic. It's like, even if you Dark Ruler, you still can't use your extra deck. Which
terrible.
Sucks, and it feels ultra bad. It's like, well, why did I bother? That card, like, just, it doesn't allow any play. So, feels bad.
And then speaking of not allowing any play, I know that this is a card that is probably on a lot of people's radar and a card that not a lot of people want to get hit because of a brand new deck that just came out.
Volkswagen.
But VFD has got to go. That card literally says you can't play for 2 turns. It's so oppressive. It changes attributes. You can't attack. You can't activate. Like, it's just, the card is just unfair. Like, it's a really, really poor card design.
And a lot of people will argue like, oh, well, I mean, VFD is not as easy to make and blah, blah, blah. But, like, he kind of is now. Like,
it's pretty easy
The only reason I could see it not getting hit is because Konami knows that it works in Virtual World. I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one. I don't know if they'll necessarily ban it. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know where Konami's marketing brain is at. I don't have the ends with them. But VFD has been kind of creeping in and out of formats for a while now. The card's been around for a hot minute. And like everyone knows it sucks, but like now it's like it really sucks. So I don't know. Konami might hit it early, but I also could see why they wouldn't.
And like for what it's worth, Virtual World is not a bad deck without VFD. Like it would force Virtual World to actually play Virtual World instead of just be Turbo. VFD Turbo.
It's like every deck that's like Dragoon Turbo right
now. And like setting
every...
up 2 negates with like a Macrocosmos is not a bad endboard at all. So like VFD is just like the icing on the cake. I don't think it kills Virtual World. I do think it just makes it so that your opponent can play, which is what we're trying to accomplish with this list.
And I also think that's kind of what Konami might take into consideration. Like, do we want you to play VFD Turbo or do we want you to play Virtual World and actually learn how to play the deck and like use the deck efficiently and in a creative way rather than just spam out a big guy that says you can't play that's not even an archetype, you know? So like that's where I'm at. So that's all we think will actually like get hit if there is any hitting happening. Again, we don't know what Konami is going to do, if this is even going to be like a big list or anything at all. We don't know. Now let's talk about like the wish list sort of aspect of this that we talked about in stream. We kind of touched on a couple cards that we don't think will actually hit the list, but potentially could.
Yeah, everyone wants to see Hulk or Needle Fiber or Link Cross banned or both of them banned. We personally are not advocates of that. I know, hot take. And when it comes to needle fiber, like I know that this is not really an aspect a lot of people want to talk about, but can you imagine all of your friends and all the people that you know out there, whether it's competitive, whether it's just casual, a lot of people have kind of put Yu-Gi-Oh down due to everything going on in the world. Needle fiber has been one of those cards that has been hyped up for years. The OCG's had it for 3 years and it's at 1 right now. And it's just one of those cards that we've been anticipating for a very, very long time. We finally got it, and now we've had it for what? 3 months, and people already want the card to go. Like, I don't think banning a good card because it becomes a problem is the solution. Like, I really do think that we should learn how to play around it and like adapt our decks to it, which a lot of people have done. And I'm not saying that like needle fiber has to stay around forever. My argument is that a lot of players are not playing the game right now. So can you imagine being one of those players, competitive or casual, and then like everything finally resolves, we get to go to events again, we get to have fun with our friends, you come back and you find out that you missed one of the most monumental cards in the entire game's history because people like didn't like it for 3 months. I just feel like that's not fair to the entire player base, as opposed to like 35-40% that are still playing the game right now.
Yeah, and realistically, like, Konami's not going to hit Link Cross or Needle Fiber yet. We're not saying they will never be hit, but being that they literally just came out like 6 months ago, they're not going to go anywhere right now. The only one I could slightly justify going is Link Cross before Needle Fiber.
I agree.
Needle Fiber is not as big of a problem as Link Cross, but you know what? People will say what they want, and that's fine.
I'd even argue that Link Cross can go forever, and Needle Fiber can stay around at 1 forever.
Yeah.
I don't think that, like once you get rid of the token spamming and the Herald and the Savage, like, Turbo, it's kind of a decent card.
Yeah.
But another card that we tried to, like, advocate for last ban list is Martial Metal Marcher, because Marcher, it's a free tuner. Whatever you make with it becomes a tuner. It gets you into, like, your Auroradon plays. It also gets you a free body that's also a tuner. Like, that's the card that is super duper broken in that combo. If we're not trying to hit Hulk and we're not trying to hit Link Cross, I think Martial Metal Marcher makes the most sense in this aspect.
And I think what's so crazy about Marcher is, like, Marcher doesn't just special back a monster, it specials back a tuner, which literally just facilitates these whole big, I'm gonna ruin your day boards. So nuts. Like, Marcher really facilitates all of that, and it just is it's the one extender that
gets
really,
you 2 extenders.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts.
It's that little crux of the combo that, like, if you hit it, it just makes it slightly more suck. Slightly.
Yeah, and then real quick, everyone wants to talk about LP and Isolde. We don't really think that those cards are going to get hit at all.
LP, like, if they hit Smoke Grenade, they're not going to hit Isolde. Like, they're not going to absolutely just womp the deck. Yeah. Like, it's not going to happen. And
Infernal Knights needs to play.
Yeah, and Isolde, any warrior deck needs to play. Hitting LP does nothing, and then it'll just make Blue Eyes players sad. And Konami does not ever want to see a sad Blue Eyes player in their life. For the love of God, they will do anything. They will print cards to death. They love their Blue Eyes players, so they won't hit LP. It's just not going to happen.
And for what it's worth, for Dragon Link 2, like, you literally just reroute the combo. You just send to the graveyard instead of trying to search it. You pisty it back, and then you just get the Brotar effect that way. So it's not like honestly, LP doesn't really do anything to Dragon Link.
Because now it's at a point where it's so busted that hitting LP won't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
That's how bad it's gotten, team. It's gotten so bad that hitting LP will do nothing. So that's it for the ban section. Now we're going to move on to the limited section where we're going to talk about cards that we think could actually be limited on this list, and then we're going to talk about cards that could come to 1 potentially, but that definitely probably won't, because that would be insane, and Konami would actually do something that maybe people would want to do. But I don't know, Konami's done some whack stuff in the last year and a half and forever, so if they brought some cards to 1, I'd be shook, but I wouldn't be mad.
Be fun.
So now we're going to talk about cards that are probably going to 1 first. And going into the limited section, the only card that is on the top of everyone's list that I'm pretty sure everyone wants to see go to 1 desperately and hopefully is Miscellaneous Saurus.
This card is just super busted. Like, once again, it's one of those like card designs, not a hard once per turn, and it just says send this card from your hand to the graveyard and your opponent can't interact with dinosaurs for the duration of that phase. And like, I know that sounds balanced, but like being able to not hand trap them, not negate them, not stop anything that they're doing, like the card is just really, really good. And on top of that, now Miss can banish to get you a brand new extender out of Eternity Code.
Sweet old bedazzled boy and a darned Archosaur.
Yeah. And this card not only searches you your boss monster, but it like allows you to get extenders. Like Miss Baby opening is just auto win. Like, it's just to see that and not be able to interact with your opponent at all, especially when they're going second or when they're going first trying to set up a board. Like, your hand traps don't do anything. So
nothing you do matters.
Exactly. So Misk is one of those cards where like we feel like if you put it to 1 1, it could balance dinosaurs because you still play 3 Fossil Dig, we're not touching it, 3 Oviraptor, not touching that, and then you play Misk at 1. So you realistically still play 7 copies of Misk. It makes the deck a little bit more fair and balanced and allows just a small percentage more of interaction on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, so then you're not so heavily relying on opening Misk Baby. It's like, oh, am I gonna open it? Oh god, I'm gonna have to like actually figure something out in order to get there and get to Misk instead of just relying on hard opening it. So hitting Misk is not the worst thing in the world. Banning it, I don't think will happen. I think they're gonna put it to 1 before anything. They're not just gonna outright ban the card. Also, like, dinosaurs have avoided the list for like
Ever.
So like, I mean, Misk came to 3 and then that was it. They didn't touch it forever. And so, okay. So I don't think they're gonna like absolutely like Nibiru the deck right now, but I do think they're definitely gonna hit Misk. That's just the only logical thing to do at this point. It facilitates so much. It's a hand trap and it's an extender. It's just...
Yeah, and like if you have double Misk, it's like, oh, Misk, DD Crow, okay, cool, Misk. Like, it's just, okay, cool, it's not hard one's return. It's just so busted.
Feels bad.
And then real quick, that's really the only thing we have like solidified for our limited list, but there is one thing that we want to talk about, and it came up in stream last night. It's either Quick Launch goes to 1 or E-Tele comes to 3. One or the other. So you guys decide in the comment section down below. Let us know what you think. Once again, we're not really like eviscerating Dragon Link, so we can see Quick Launch going to 1, but if we're gonna hit Virtual World, we can also see E-Tele coming to 3. So y'all figure it out, let us know.
But now we're gonna kind of shift over to some wishful thinking of cards that we would like to see come off the ban list and up to 1. So again, these probably aren't gonna happen, but let us dream a little bit. Let's have some joy on the comment section. How about that? First on the list for the wishful thinking limited list is Mirage Stalio. Again, Salad is not really doing anything. Salad's just like a rogue deck right now. I mean, Salad's not topping anything. And honestly, like we looked at Mirage Stalio on stream last night, we're like, it doesn't, it's not a problem. Like it was in the format, like in the Eternal format, totally see why it got banned. I get it. But now it's like, it locks you into fire. It special summons from the deck. So do a lot, like Quick Launch just says special summon for free, not a hard once per turn. Like there are so many cards that basically do the same thing, and then Mirage Stalio still limits you into fire monsters. So like, I don't think Mirage Stalio is the most busted thing. And then what? You can't go into access code. So like, are you even gonna play Mirage Stalio? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like,
I feel like the deck has almost evolved past Mirage Stalio.
It's oh my god, dare I say it's adapted.
Wow.
Crazy.
And then another one, this is something that a lot of people have been clamoring. There's been a ton of talk in the community about it. We personally think that Hardcore can come to 1. I don't think that that card is really busted. I honestly don't think it's doing a ton. Orcus, if we can just be honest, it's terrible. Like, Orcus can't play through 1 interruption. Like, normal summon anything, any interaction at all, past turn. Like, the deck almost needs hard. And yes, yeah, exactly. Girsu, pass. Crap. Scrap, pass. Crap. Like, it's just, the deck isn't doing anything. So, like, give them 1 heart. 1 heart. Everyone's argument for Miscellaneousaurus is the same thing. It's the same argument for Harpor. You can just have the same interaction points there. And I do see the argument that, like, Harp can be a little bit more splashable and make Orcus really, really, like, detrimental as an engine. But I really still just don't see that. Like, you're going to end on what? A ding on your opponent's turn?
Even with Rusty back, with Torn Scales, the PK engine, Girsu at 3, Orcus isn't doing anything.
Nothing.
Like, and if the 1 harp is what it takes for it to do something, I'm here to see it. Like, I don't know. I think, again, these decks have gotten to a point where bringing these cards back aren't going to wreck anything. Honestly, you know? I don't know. Level with me in the comments. Let me know what you think about harp.
And realistically, on Orcus, too, when it came to, like, Orcus being broken, it wasn't Orcus, the deck, that was broken. It was Orcus Striker, Hand Trap, you know, Conglomeration deck that was really busted. So, harp coming to 1, totally think it's okay.
And speaking of Striker, let's talk about Engage coming to 1. It's not. That's it. And it wouldn't be a breakfast at Banlist if Logan didn't talk about Colossus coming to 1. I don't want to hear your whole, oh, well, if we're going to talk about the Eternal format, I want Engage to come to 1 because you're bringing a walking mistake back into the game. I don't care. I'm sorry, but drawing a card, not a hard once per turn, can be used in literally any deck that plays a spell.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's drawing 2 cards. You just get to choose one.
Oh, yeah, you get to draw cards and choose. No, I'm sorry. No, like, that's not happening.
Sorry.
I will vouch for Colossus to 1, and I feel like we've all kind of gotten over the whole, oh my god, Colossus is so scary, and like the people who just don't want Colossus back are just butthurt from the Eternal format. That's it. Like, and I said it. I said what I said. I'm not upset about it. Colossus to 1 is not. Not. We have VFD. We've got Dragoon. We've got all these BS cards in the format right now that literally say you can't play, but I can't have a guy that doesn't let you search, that can be targeted, that you can get rid of with literally any interruption.
Yeah, Colossus, when it was back in the format before, we didn't have cards like Dark Ruler. We didn't have cards like Forbidden Droplets.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many more cards to utilize against
talents. And even on top of that, you can Ice Dragon's Prison Colossus. You can literally use any interruption against Colossus. Like, I don't think that Engage and Colossus are on the same level.
They're not.
Like,
They're
at
not.
all. Like,
At
yes,
all.
they got hit at the same time, but that was everything in the format got hit. Like, I can't fathom how people can think Engage is as okay as Colossus.
It's
like,
not.
Everyone's like, oh, Colossus is a walking mistake. Well, guess what? Colossus also has to hit the field and stay on the field for anything bad to happen to you. Like, Miscellaneous Source, people made the argument that it's just like Misk. Well, yeah, but, like, Misk doesn't have to, like, sit on a field. Misk is busted because you just ditch it and pitch it and banish it.
And it's a quick effect, and it gets you an extender. Colossus doesn't really get you a ton of extenders unless you're protecting itself.
Yeah, and I know that people will also make the argument that Colossus also has a built-in extending effect like Miscellaneous Source, but that's only when he would be destroyed by battle or card effect, where Misk just hits the graveyard and it's just like, oh, just banish it. Just do what you want to do. There's no stipulation. Colossus, you can actually have to hit into it. Like, you can just remove Colossus so easily, and he has to sit on the board. Like, I don't know. I get the whole 3 Colossus sucked thing, but one Colossus versus VFD, Savage, Dragoon, every BS monster right now. I just don't see how one Colossus is a problem. And everyone who's saying the Nemesis crap, those cards suck. No one's playing them. Let the Nemesis cards go. They're awful. And I feel like this is for players who are just I need a reason to not want Colossus back, and the Nemesis cards are not a valid excuse. I'm very sorry. And even then, I'm gonna bring up the OCG, but Colossus is legal in the OCG. That deck's not even tier 2.
Thunder's not even tier 4 here, so let it be a tier 2 deck. It's not gonna kill you. You'll be okay.
Yeah, but that's it. That's my TED Talk on Colossus. Colossus can come to 1. People in the comments, I'm sorry. Let me know if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. You don't have to. We don't have to all agree, but I'm also just saying, if you're gonna have an argument for it, have an argument for it. Engage is staying at 0. It's okay.
And then real quick, for a card that we do actually think is really going to come off would be Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. Love the Triff, but your Metal Foes is getting support. So obviously, if Bardiche can come off the list for Phantom Knight support, Electrum can come off for Metal Foes support.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
It seems logical. I could see Konami doing this. They did it for PK, and it was no one thought Rusty was coming back, and then he did, and everyone was sick, oh my god, he's gonna break the format. He didn't. Nothing happened.
Yep. Not a Market Watch channel, but go grab your Electrums now, because when it comes off the ban list, you will be sorry.
It's gonna be a fun day.
And then real quick, we just want to touch on, the other control aspects. A lot of people have, said that we need to limit Sanguine, we need to talk about, Dogmatica, we need to talk about Invoked. None of those decks are realistically doing anything. The most oppressive of all is Dogmatica, but once again, as we said, that literally just came out. It's not gonna do anything.
Everyone's been saying to hit Servant. I don't think they're gonna hit Nadir Servant.
Nope.
Not yet. It just came out. They're not gonna do it. And if it means it's gonna be super duper powerful, that's what Konami's gonna do. Again, these are not the things that we think are actually going to happen on the list. We really only think Mystic is going to 1.
Yeah, they're just discussion points.
Yeah, everything else is just kind of to fuel the fire and let you all go at it.
If for what it's worth, a lot of people think that Eldritch is super oppressive. I would argue out of all 3 of those engines we just mentioned, Eldritch is the least competitive out of all of them. Okay, cool. So we limit Sanguine. Have you read White Destiny? It's the same thing. All they need is that 1 Sanguine to get Eldritch out of the deck, and then they just loop it out of the graveyard with White Destiny. So Sanguine hit really does nothing. As someone who's played Eldritch, I've tested the deck with 1. You don't notice the difference. So just saying, it's not that busted.
And on that note, they're not going to touch Dragoon.
Sorry.
Dragoon's not doing anything except bumping rogue decks, and now every rogue deck is Dragoon Turbo, and
And it's being outed with no problem. So, it's fine. The card's okay.
It's fine. Bring Colossus back. But, moving on to a very easy part of the list, we're going to talk about the Unlimited section, because we think the semi-limited section should be completely wiped out. I think semi-limit is absolutely silly. There's about 4 cards on it, and they don't need to be.
Most of them are coming to Unlimited.
Yes.
And Mally can come to 3.
No, it's not. Starting off the Unlimited section, it would only be wise if Konami would bring these 2 cards back to 3. It's totally awesome in ABC Dragon Buster. I mean, you brought Toad and you bring them to 3. I don't feel like I need to explain this.
No.
It's fine.
They're literally doing nothing.
It's fine. They can come back. Yeah. They're not hurting anybody.
then a little bit more controversial, if we are trying to bump some of these decks down, the only deck that I can think of that may actually see like a really, really big buff is Phantom Knights, but giving them 3 Graph and 3 Seer, PK Fire. Like, a lot of people have chose to drop the Burning Abyss engine to just play pure Phantom Knights.
Yeah.
So like, I think giving 3 Graph and 3 Seer, it doesn't really do anything. And like, what? You get to play 3 Pot of Desires in your deck now? Cool.
And like, I think bringing all of these cards back to 3 just facilitates a little more variety, whether you play them or not. Like, let ABC play. Just let them play.
Yeah.
Like, let them have fun.
And let them have Union Carrier.
Yeah, for God's sake.
Like, that's all that they really need.
But yeah, I don't think Malicious is that one problem card, and Malicious will either go to 3 or go to 1. I definitely don't think it's going to 3. Like,
Yeah, I wish it would.
I can't see Konami in their wildest dreams bringing Mally back to 3. Would it be cool?
Sweet.
Holy hell it would, but man oh man, I'd be whack. Like,
I'd play it. It'd be sweet.
I know you would, and so would a lot of other people, but Mally would probably go to 1, which is a big bummer, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the semi-limited list? I don't think it should exist anymore. I'm sick of looking at it.
Yep.
But then now it's just time to talk about our honorary card that should come back to 3.
Taps,
and everyone's gonna yell at us for it.
You wanna say it, Taps? Ready?
Say it with me, friends. Max C. To 3. Wow.
There it is. We really think that this card would check a ton of combo decks. It could even check control decks. It could check every deck in the format. It is just like, it's a really, really good balancing card. And I do think, yes, we haven't played with it, and yes, we know it's crazy, but like, it would change the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played. And I think that this might be the actual change that we need in the game.
Again, Konami won't do it. This is just our wishful thinking. We know we're probably wrong, and everyone who's been playing since 2002 is gonna let us know.
Yep.
We know that.
Max C to 3
Y'all
though.
act like we're not self-aware when we make these lists, but we mostly do it to facilitate conversations and just like the what-ifs of what could happen on a ban list. Again, the only real hits we see happening are Smoke, Busterlock, VFD, Miscellaneous, Saurus.
To 1. And that's really about it. Honestly.
And then like Toad and the Unlimits, that's about it. Like,
that's all this format really needs. And like, I think that like, with the 4 decks that are in the meta right now, being like Virtual World, Dinosaurs, Dragon Link, and Infernoble, like, just bring those decks down a little bit, and then let everyone else play. Like, if we give Orcus stuff back, we give Salad stuff back, we give Phantom Knights a little bit of a buff.
the Eternal format,
like,
minus Sky Striker.
It would just be super fun to actually sit down and be able to play like 8 to 10 decks as opposed to like 2.
I just can't wait to see all the comments of all the Striker players being like, that's not fair. You can't bring back the cards you want. Oh, you guys want to ban Needle Fiber Link Cross all the time. Let me bring back my one walking mistake, alright? If you can do it, I can do it. So you know what? But that's it in terms of our breakfast and ban list and what we think could happen and what we would kind of want to happen in an ideal world. Again, just discussion starters. Feel free to have nice and kind discussions in the comments. I swear to God, if I have to come in there and start asserting myself, I'm not going to do it. Don't make me do it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you're not too mad at us. And if anything, we just want you guys to understand the other viewpoints that people can come through because we all have different perspectives on this, and that's okay. We're not saying that we are right. This is not a set in stone list. This is just some thoughts. That's it. So let us know. Comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, do it for my sons, do it for me, do it for everything, I don't know, do it for the ban list for all I care. But we love you, you matter, no matter what your opinions are, you still matter, it's okay, I still love you, and we hope you have a spectacular Wednesday team, and we'll see you for some other fun shenanigans this week. Who knows? Bye!